going? Wee bit of a while since we've been on, but it's lovely to see everybody.
We're here tonight to talk about that famous 90s show, Round the Twist. Have you ever felt like this? Sorry, our dog, Joey the dog, is humping me.
Yeah, he's really wildly jealous of everything,
Little
basically.
bit, yeah, here he is. Look at that. If you haven't seen our lives for a while, this is Joey.
He is our baby, and he is a beautiful, beautiful boy who loves kisses.
He'll be joining, and not to second Bill, but we'll also be joined by Sarah from Belfast Won't always be like this. Mm-hmm. She's going to be telling us all about what they're doing, what they're up to. So they've been profiling artists and activists and creative people all around Belfast and beyond. And we had the opportunity to do that actually a couple of weeks ago and have a really lovely conversation. We were interviewed by them, and the lovely Brendan Harkin took some gorgeous snaps. But yeah, we want to know what the crack is.
And we were going to ask the question whenever we were chatting, but then we thought, hang on a wee second. Sounds like the people who maybe follow our account would probably be interested in following your account and hearing the story at the same time. So rather than us asking all of the questions whenever we have them in front of us, we thought, well, why don't we jump onto a live and then you can hear it all for yourself too.
Do you know what I wanna ask about? I'm sorry that Joey is a nightmare.
Oh, he is so jealous. Like, this is literally, he doesn't do this all the time. He does it as soon as there's a camera pointing at us. He doesn't understand.
Yeah, every video call you could be on with a bloody executive. And some dog, the dog is riding your leg.
And there'll be a cat long in a minute as well, probably, because he's also jealous. And relax.
Well,
hello to everybody who's making comments as well.
Hello, what's the crack? Well, we've had some day. I'm just going to let Joey continue to do that. But we've had some day. We started off super early. I woke up to colour my hair, of all things. Becky, my glam squad, made me look gorgeous. This morning I had my hair in pin curls, and we actually had to go and offload and load stuff in the warehouse. I had to go to the shop. We were kind of in and out of places before I realised that actually I still looked like someone getting ready for a big Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. We were over one of the reasons why Connor had his hair all gorgeous and curly, and why I have got lots of makeup on today, was because we were taking a photograph so that we could announce our extravaganza. So some love this weekend in Banana Block, which is our celebration year-long event, and we're just starting this weekend, of LGBT political and human rights activist Mark Ashton. And we're going to be bringing along loads of our unwanted clothing that hasn't worked in our free store project because of condition for one reason or another. Sorry, Joey has just decided to turn on my phone.
That's social media inception, because that's a video on our story of us talking a load of shite. But yes, we are doing that at the weekend. It's both Saturday and Sunday, and we are starting our attempt for the world's largest recycled rainbow flag. Fuck knows why. But look, it's going to be really, really fun. We actually got the first load of clothes down as well today, as we were taking those photos, and it's very exciting to see those cages sitting filled with the items that we can't use anymore, but we're going to recycle and make into this wonderful project.
Mm-hmm. We have big plans for a zero waste future with our projects, and this is kind of one of the first steps along that. So it's gorgeous to be able to take items that don't meet the standard of our free store because they're damaged or they're done and they've come to the end of their life for one reason or another, and to be able to turn them around into something that is beautiful and that will have hopefully a lasting legacy for a very great man who we hope to also be able to share the story of a wee bit as well.
Talking of stories, sorry, I wanted to
he loves a segue.
sort of like one shot. I don't know. Talking of stories, we occasionally post them. For anyone that's new and you don't have a clue who we are, we're called Another World Belfast, and we're not for profit based in Belfast City. We focus on really practical projects that give back to the community. One of which is called Free Store, where we it's a free clothing boutique where we provide clothing and all your toiletries and makeup and everything else. Very privately in a space above our warehouse. We also have the Love Pack, which is our collection of toiletries and underwear from the public, which we then make into what we call Love Packs and deliver them out to organisations and groups around Belfast. And what else are we up to? Swap Shop.
Yes.
Swap shop. So the sort of the thing at the minute is the thing you guys
engine.
are loving at the minute, and also the engine to kind of power it all. And kind of really make it happen. It's called Swap Shop, and Swap Shop is where you can come, you can bring your old clothes if they're still good condition, you can swap them and get them for 50% off the regular price. What is the regular price? I hear you ask.
£10.
£10. £10 for some wonderful stuff. So get down, support us. If you want to come and swap, that'd be amazing. But you can also just swap or shop. And this weekend at Banana Block for Show Some Love, we're also going to have a Swap Shop pop-up.
We're in the Banana Block with our pop-up the first weekend of every month and also the last Sunday of every month whenever we're there with East Block Bazaar. And actually next week as well, we're going to be in Edge Coffee in Hollywood, which we're super excited about, and we will do a wee post about that with some details the next couple of days.
We're booked and blessed.
Uh-huh.
We're booked and blessed. Thank God. This summer, well, actually, the big plan was really to get a permanent store, and we've been really trying to do that. We've found the perfect store. It's just, it's a lot of
admin,
legal work on their side to make it happen. But that may or may not happen. We are trusting in the universe, but looking towards the summer, and then opening it up, thinking, do you know what, we're going to do pop-ups for that time. We're very lucky that lots of lovely people have allowed us to use their space. So far, we've been in so many places, and this summer we're going to be in a ton more. I swear, Joey is still humping her legs.
He's going mad. Sorry, he was actually whimpering there because I was stroking him, but not enough or not in the right way. He's a bit like a cat in that respect.
One thing that a lot of people ask us when we're on video calls in the house or we're doing lives or whatever it is, if we take some photos, is what this painting's all about. And it was given to us by our lovely friend Fiona Rainey. We love Fiona. And we put it behind us. So, well, because we love it.
And Fiona and Molly are on their way on holiday. So
we seen Molly the other night at Banana Block's after party.
Oh, and that was something else that, like, in terms of what we've been up to, AVA Festival and then Banana Block after parties. Wow.
Are you having a good night?
You having a good night, love? We were having a good night and a good day. It was so much fun. So thank you very much to all of the organisers and people involved for that and for having us come along as well. We had an absolute ball.
We had a wonderful weekend. Kind of forgot what it's like to burn the candle so...
Yeah.
I mean, we're like queens of it. But burning the candle so aggressively at both ends. We have up until... What day is today? Thursday? Mm-hmm. Probably up until late yesterday suffered for it. Mm-hmm. And not because we were drinking loads or because we were going too mad in that respect, just because we were full time. We were in Banana Block all day, both of the days, and then we were at the festival. I know, it's so hard, isn't it? It's
tough life.
It's a tough life. So super soon we're going to be joined by Sarah from Belfast Won't Always Be Like This. We've just been joined by lovely Sarah.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello, darling. How's it going? Many Sarahs. Mm-hmm. Actually, interesting fact about Another World. 50% of our following and supporters so far in the last 5 years have been called Sarah.
Another fun fact. All our facts are fun.
Oh my God. At this point, we're kind of running on... coffee, Pepsi Max, kind of on empty, to be honest.
And tomorrow's energy.
But today in the warehouse we had a lovely Tony, who's just one of our favourite volunteers. We love her.
People in the whole world.
So good, and she comes every week to come and help us and does all sorts of things. Along with actually a load of other people. Either when you come and volunteer with us, you can spend 1 day a week. You can commit to sort of a time like that, or you can just come kind of whenever you want. When we do really need people, though, is really just over the next few days. So the next couple of days as we prepare for the week, or the next day as we prepare for the weekend. And then the weekend itself, we could really do with a hand. With it's kind of it's an all hands on deck moment to make it happen, to make the world's largest recycled rainbow flag.
And if you're somebody who has volunteered with us just the once and never had the opportunity to come back again, don't feel weak. Like, one of the things that we're aware of that happens quite a lot is that people will say, oh, I haven't been able to get back to you, and then they feel guilty and they think that we're judging you and all the rest of it. We're not. You know, if you
That
can come...
much.
Not that much. I mean, just a wee bit. No, not at all. Like, if you can come 1 hour 1 year and then 1 hour the next year, that's still great. We're grateful for all time. So if you haven't been back for a while and you've been just thinking, oh, I'm too scundered to go back, ignore all of that. Molly's
There's
just
Molly
joined. We were just
raining.
talking about you, love.
You're going to have to rewind on this, darling.
Yeah.
We were talking all about you. Talking the state you were in on Saturday night. That's what we're doing. We're tighten.
Well, she'd be in some state with her own now, I would say. Doing them at the airport. But yes, please feel free to come and get involved. Send us a message. We've got a volunteer form on our bio there that you can fill in. Makes life a wee bit easier. Then I can send you out a link to join our WhatsApp group. Our WhatsApp group is one way only. It's just me pushing out opportunities to people to let them know when we need people. So it's not a melty group conversation as they tend to happen. So you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, hopefully we will hear a wee message from Sarah any minute saying that she's going to come along. Isn't it, Molly?
Totally. We're reacting to Molly's comment, who we talked about earlier. And this painting behind us is by her ma. It's lovely.
We also love.
What's the crack out there on Instagram at the moment? Like, what have we all been up to? What is, I don't know, the crack?
Big Instagram energy.
Let us know though, and know as well. Like every Instagram live we've probably ever put out there. Or all of our lives, you can ask us anything. That's anything from right now and what we do is another world. Anything from our past lives, fingers crossed. It's nothing too spicy. And anything you want to know, we're here, we're open, and we that is so funny. Sorry, so easily distracted. But Sarah from our Belfast Won't always be like this have commented, I'm here for the round the twist commentary. Oh yeah, right enough. I don't know if I've actually ever seen it.
Oh, I definitely have. Like, I'm a child of the 80s and I think I would quite like to go back and watch it again because I remember how weird it was. It was wonderful.
I had a day once, I was living in Australia, and on the south coast you can find that
the lighthouse?
The lighthouse. And I went to that lighthouse one day, and I can't tell the rest of the story.
No, a lot of Connor's stories are definitely not safe for work.
But I went to the lighthouse that day. It was lovely.
Oh, lovely. Jude is asking how I got my radiant skin.
Thanks.
I keep it in a drawer up the stairs and I plaster lots of it on before we go on to a live.
Hello.
Glow up.
Hello.
Your hair's lovely. He always has nice skin.
Well, that is Jude that got us kind of roped in to sow some love. Well, let's sow some love and more this project that we've got at Banana Block on the weekend. And they reached out to ask if we could make it happen. Sorry,
Joey is like literally going mad over here. You should see him trying to hump Connor's leg.
He's fucking like that.
So not to take away from talking about Jude there. So Jude is he says amateur historian, but we're going to go with Jude is a local historian and lawyer, and he also is part of running Queer Space as well. So Jude got in touch with us a couple of weeks ago and asked us to potentially creatively collaborate on creating a memorialisation for Mark Ashton. And this was all around the same time that Claire from Banana Block asked us to get our heads together and think of a way that we could launch their new exhibition space within Banana Block, which, as you know, is like a living museum, and there's lots of fun stuff going on in there all the time. So this is the newest sort of addition to their stable. So it launches this weekend, and we were able to sort of have all of the stars align. We also had a wee bit of time off, which was lovely. So it meant that we got to be a bit creative. Time off.
The loosest definition of that couple of days was meant to be a couple of weeks, but
yeah.
I'm over it.
At least we were in the house. We were working from home mainly. But we got to do some lovely creative thinking, and we got to come up with this plan. And it really ticked all the boxes in terms of what Jude wanted to achieve and what Claire wanted to achieve in Banana Block. So we're really glad that it's all pressing ahead and going on this weekend. So what was I going to say? Sarah, if you want to send us a request, I don't know whether you already sent one and we've missed it. But if you want to send us a request to join, we would love to have you join, and then we can start giving you the 20 questions.
Hello to everyone that's joined. Anyone that missed it, this is Joey, and he has, for all of this time, been having sex with us. He's been humping our feet and our arms and our legs and everything. Something strange happens.
We often call ourselves professional attention seekers for what we do, because it's literally our job to try and get people to like look. Joey has learned from us very well. Oh, I see it. Right, are you ready? And we will invite Sarah in. Oh yes, and as Jude said, Pride is on iPlayer, so make sure you catch that while it's on. Okay.
Holy shit.
Hello.
Well, hopefully Sarah will have a little bit more information about Round the Twist. Hello, baby. You lie down. You're a good boy.
Let's see.
You lie down.
Hi.
Come on.
Oh, there we are.
Hello.
Well,
hello everyone
how's it
on the
going?
live. All the nice little people in my phone.
Good.
It's so
Thank you so
lovely to
much.
have you, and it's also so great to be able to like turn the tables on you a wee bit, as you've been doing interviewer for the last like I don't know how many months now. So it's lovely to be able to turn the tables on you, and for us, and probably also all the people that you've been interviewing and all their audiences as well, to find out. So why are you doing it? What's the crack? You know, and hopefully we won't do the same thing. Hopefully we will do the same thing on each other. Is we'll ask you one question and then you can just talk at us for 20 minutes.
See,
right?
Before we start, I need to kick this dog out of this room.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We have raised a problem child. A devil child. Like,
sorry, give us 1 minute. I hope he doesn't bark at the door, but
Listen,
he
will.
Do that, but we'll just deal with it. It's just one of those things. Never work with children and animals, as they say.
Oh my
Here we go.
Oh, the freedom. Never have children.
He like really just adds this extra level of tenseness, because you're trying to like have a conversation with people, and then the next thing, and you're also trying to like maneuver him around behind of the scenes. So it always makes you feel a wee bit distracted. So you've got us back again.
Do you know anything about Around
I
the
was
Twist?
a huge fan growing up. I was a huge fan.
Were ya? I do remember the CBBC. Must have bought it at some stage, and I remember the theme tune of it sort of reminded me of like finishing school and just
it was on Netflix
being away from all of that.
I don't know if it's still there, but it was on Netflix last year, and I rewatched it and I thought, I don't speak Australian. I don't know. The accents are so wild. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
Well, we are complete addicts and avid fans of Kath and Kim. I don't know whether you've seen it before. Yeah. So I consider like we're pretty fluent in Australian, you know, now after watching it a couple of times.
If anyone out there doesn't watch Kath and Kim, oh my goodness, like get yourself just, I don't know, illegally download the thing and get it on your screen.
But it's on Netflix, so you don't have to illegally download it if you've got Netflix. Yeah.
But it's just, in fact, you know what we're going to do is finish this after the day. We've sort of had it just a day of it, what we're saying, and we're going to watch some Kath and Kim.
Yeah. And listen to Enya.
Yeah. Sail away.
That's what we want for the Kath and Kim lovers.
I think before Joey started to just sort of more aggressively have sex on my foot, Becky was saying about Belfast Won't always be like this. For anyone that's watching, please go on and follow and like the page. We've shared it on our stories today. But Becky was asking about that and what you guys are up to, and I just want to kind of know, like, what is
why is a great question. I mean, I don't have the answer to this. I don't pretend to have the answers to anything. I think the way it started was kind of, we did not mean for it to happen. We just went around biking all around Belfast the first day and just continued, and then I guess people started following and asking us questions, and we just decided to run with it, and now it's starting to become a thing. We're a month away from our first anniversary, which is super exciting. And it's just given us a lot of great opportunities to meet people that we've been admiring, either close or from afar, and to ask them questions and to have a great insight into what motivates them, what the vision is, what do they hope that people take away from the work that they do. And I mean, basically, we've been inspiring ourselves pretty much. Every time we interview somebody, there are a few quotes that stick with me, and I still think about them sometimes. You know, when you have a down moment, we've interviewed people that were great at just coining a phrase, having very catchy slogans. You know, like "show some love." So, so it's been. I mean, it's a journey, and I'm very happy to be on it for sure.
Cool. And tell us a wee bit about you as well. What was your story before
So
you
I grew
started
up as
doing
a
all of this?
small child in Australia, and I lived in a lighthouse with my dad and my two siblings.
No way.
No, about me. So I'm from this wonderful town called Belfast. I don't know if you've heard of it. And then when I was a rebellious teenager with a lot of anger issues, I yeah, I left. I
Rebels.
left because the Belfast that I grew up in did not have a lot of opportunities, especially not for people that look like me, that had my background, or that just needed a lot of direction. To be honest, that was pretty much it. And I was raised by my grandmother, who frankly had just no time for my shit. It boiled down to that. So I lived in the US for a long time, and then in 2020 I moved back. So moving back was a great way. Actually, initially I thought I was so stupid to move back during the pandemic. Who does that? But I thought it was actually a really great thing because there was nothing to do but just taking your silly mental health walk every day, or a mental health cycle. And it just allowed me to rediscover the city, to just walk around at my own pace,
Mm-hmm.
and discover spaces and look how much they change, or how much they had not changed, or change for the better, or change for the
Yeah.
worse. And that's kind of how we started doing this. We started taking photos of locations specifically, once we got the poster. And then it morphed into, so initially we started working on locations. We would just grab the poster, grab a bike, and just bike all over town and pick locations that we thought should be highlighted. And it's not just paramilitary activity, but it was also highlighting the housing crisis. It was highlighting the loss of historical landmarks. It was highlighting the need for more cultural and art spaces. It was highlighting the work of community organizers. And then we thought, okay, it's great to say all of those things need to not be like this, but there are people who do that work of changing things and of improving the communities and of working for them and giving back day in, day out. Who are those people? Where are the helpers? And how can people get
Uh-huh.
involved? Because, you know, sometimes when you live in a place where you have a lot going on, like a lot of things that need fixed, it can be extremely overwhelming. And you're just trying to find your place
Yeah.
and you're not sure where to turn. So we were trying to actually signpost that. We just listen, those are the people they hear. It's very likely they're in your age group as well. So don't feel too intimidated because you don't have 25 years
Mm-hmm.
experience in community organizing. It's not about that. And here are different causes because of course you can't tackle just everything. And by talking to these people and by just seeing how motivated they are and by seeing how they got into this as well, like how did you start, which is the question that everybody asks, is what was day one, like how, when did you make that, you know, groundbreaking decision? And I keep going back to that wonderful line that Ellen Crowley gave us, um, when she said no one is incapable of change. And I thought that was such a powerful line to say that it does not matter. You don't have to be
Mm-hmm.
financially secure and be able to donate vast amount of money to a cause. You don't have to be a practicing lawyer to know how to change things at city council level. You don't have to be
Correct.
someone with a vast level of influence. You can just be one person, and whatever you're going to do that day, it's going to matter.
Love it. I feel like that's so aligned with kind of the reason that we started, and you've heard that, and we're going to hear all about it whenever we post. But it's the fact that people have, no matter who you are, if you're here, we all have a certain amount of privilege, and we have the power to even, you know, if you don't have that, like you're saying, if you don't have the money to maybe donate or buy something to support, you can give your time. You know, you might have time, and it's great because you guys are really shining a light on a load of projects and groups and organizations that that are real kind of people focused and people powered. So if you have some time, you can make a real impact.
Like, it feels to me like you've been kind of the groups that you've chosen to highlight and the individuals that you've chosen to highlight, like, there are so many people we're like, yeah, we've been like fangirling on them
we've
for a
been
long
fangirling
time.
on them too.
Great choice. And you've
Yeah,
sown a
we've been
lovely
fangirling on them
thread,
too.
you
I
know?
mean, at some point, Brendan and I just, when we decided to do the profiles, of course, we started with our really good friend Bethany Moore, who just literally inspires us every day. We're very lucky. We're very fortunate to have people in our lives that just do incredible, groundbreaking, life-altering work every day. But the first question we asked ourselves every time we're deciding to take on a new task is, what makes us proud to be from here? What makes Belfast the Belfast that we're proud to live in, the Belfast that we're proud to talk about, to chat to our mates? And it's the people, and it's what they do. Regardless of what they do and how they do it, it's this patchwork, this quilt of identities that you have here. Somebody like Lucinda Graham, also, whom I love dearly, said something so important. She said, we need everyone to invest in the people here, because we're here and we're talented and we're skilled and we have voices and we have visions. You just need to give us the space to express that. It's time to believe in Belfast. And that's definitely the message that we want to put forward.
Believe in, not believe in.
You know what? That is a t-shirt.
So many people believe in this place.
That is 100% a t-shirt.
Yes,
yeah.
Like, but you mentioned Lucy there, and
love her.
But working in fashion, you get to really see it, because a lot of what goes on is very public. You know, people will have their own profiles, they'll maybe have their own brands, they'll be doing their thing, and it's sort of their portfolio now. And she, I imagine, over the years has just seen so many of her classmates and community just kind of feel like they have to leave to do anything to kind of make it happen. But yeah, a big part of her message and ours and yours then in turn is that you can stay, and it won't always be like this.
And you know, it's kind of funny because it's such a catch-all statement, and of course it's Lyra's statement, so it's about also her work and what she was doing, what she was working on, and how much she actually really believed in people. And that was in all the conversations we've had, because Lyra was so focused and she really wanted me to move back. That was a big deal. She said, you know, Sarah, it's different now. And I kept visiting and I said, sure. But it was different. But you need to know where to look. And you need to know the right people. And Lyra was so good at meeting people. She was the greatest at putting people around a table, people that would have otherwise either never met or never bothered talking to each other. And she was so great at putting them around a table and just say, okay, everybody has a different skill set. How do we tackle issue A or issue B? Because we all come from different backgrounds, but we need to work together to create something long lasting and beautiful. So that's something we really want to put forward, but everybody has a different idea of what this is. Thank you so much. She really, really was. Thank you. Every time somebody like tells me, even it's a quick message like that, how much they loved her, that just makes me very happy. Thank you so much. So I think that this is different for everybody, because we're all different and we all have different life experiences, but we all know that at some point there's only so much that we can just chuck it down to apathy and things we can't do. And sometimes, you know, you are overwhelmed. Sometimes you are feeling very worn down. So just know when you are very worn down, if that happens to you, if it's you and you doom scrolling on social media, just try to like give us a quick look and just see if there's not a person, either Bethany's super bright pink hair, either Rye's absolutely charismatic speech, or Ellen Crowley's extremely inspiring vision of how did you just show up one day and decide that you are going to change things? And she said this thing's very funny. She says, you guys have everything. You guys have the internet. I didn't have the internet growing up. find the people that inspire you, because they're around you and they do things. So instead of, you know, being in isolated circles, especially after the pandemic, you know, we've all kind of lost touch. We've all kind of lost our hangouts or habits. Then I just want to look, and sometimes I just look around me and I see people like you, people like Luz, people like the Lord Mayor, who are doing just super inspiring things. And I'm just, I go to London, I go to Dublin, I go to New York, and I'm like, you guys need to visit my hometown because it's so great, everything that's going on there. I'm like, have you heard of AVA Festival? Are you going to Plain Sailing? We've become a UNESCO City of Music. Oh, by the way, this artist that you really like, they're from Belfast. Have you heard of Our Studio? They got the Turner Prize. They're from Belfast. All of this that people may not know, because they either know us for those terrible things that happened to us, or they know us because of Celine Dion. And I'm not taking anything away from Celine Dion. I'm not here to take anything away from her. Everything she has, she earned. Like, I'm here for Celine, but this is about us now.
From who?
Yes.
Did you just say Celine Dion?
Because the Titanic.
Why Celine Dion?
I think the only reason that... Did you forget?
Oh!
I was like, is this going to be like...
No, this is not. Excuse me, my purple go on is not exactly an underrated song.
Celine Dion's from Collybackie.
She's from Ballymena.
And she, do you know what? She left. She's a bad example because she left and she, of course, became very rich and famous.
And she went Canadian.
And she went Canadian. But there are definitely opportunities here, and there's an opportunity to make a really big noise in, I think, a much more accessible way. You know, so you can flip that where you're like, oh, there's less people and there's less opportunities and there's kind of less out there, but there's more opportunity to, like, I love the fact that people say that Belfast is a village. You know, it really is. And because it's small, and because our community is so focused around so much of our community is focused around our capital city, you can make change happen by just kind of conversation at a time. You know, you can, for every person that you meet, kind of spread a message, whatever that is. You know, maybe show some love, but it may be whatever your message is, and before you know it, you can gather.
And just having
together,
this message, honestly, sometimes it just catches me by surprise that people appropriate it for themselves, which they should. It belongs to them. I'm not the owner of this poster. As far as I'm concerned, it belongs to the city and it belongs to the whole of Northern Ireland. Of course, I want to make sure that the message that goes with the poster does not promote stuff that I would never agree with. It's not like, you won't always be like this. One day we will no longer have abortion rights. So it's...
that was my first thought.
No, because
that was a good laugh.
And one day somebody asked me to Brendan is here. One day somebody asked me to take the poster with me to that protest. It was United Against Racism. They're going to come up, we're going to profile them. And I would have gone to this protest anyway, because unless I literally physically cannot attend, I will show up. But the fact that they wanted the poster to be there, that it was a message that they wanted to be seen specifically, I just felt like it was kind of powerful to me, that I just wanted to hand it to them. And people took photos because it was a protest and press was there. And at some point, Bethany actually screenshot something on Twitter that she saw, which was the photo of my disgusting face holding this poster. And somebody had just commented on it as a caption, "Hope is a radical act." And if this is the one thing they take away from a fight as difficult as the one to support refugees and to support ethnic minorities in Northern Ireland, if your takeaway is that it's worth hoping, and that hoping in itself is radical, and there's something beautiful and powerful in hope, then my job here is done, honestly. Like, you can have this poster, it's all yours, because you got it.
Beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I'm like, there's something, you know, I'm not doing a segue. It's just relevant for what we're talking about doing this weekend, about our Sow Some Love. But for us, the idea, it seems very like what you guys are doing too, of joining together different, you know, we work often in silos here, which is, you know, one of the only things that we would love to help address, is that often different marginalized groups and then the organizations that are set up to help those marginalized groups are often sort of sitting in separate places.
But for us, we've always thought that the value and the strength and the power comes from being able to join those groups together. So for us to see the work that you were doing and the fact that you were focusing on different areas, and even like, you know, not just being purely around activism, for example, you know, bringing creative voices and people who were doing cool stuff to be proud of in the city, like the likes of Lucy, you know, bringing them in as well, and like creating that proud story is something that's like, it's rare and unique and special. So we're really, really grateful.
I think
this
is a big failure
and,
that you will find in any type of human rights work, is that we tend to we have tunnel vision, and this is the number one way to get burnt out very quickly. And if you do not know where to turn, if you think you have to be completely self-reliant, and that you don't need additional skills coming as a team, then you're going to burn out so quickly. It's just not going to have the lasting impact that you want to have. I think the role of I think having an interdisciplinary approach, not to use big terms, is super important. I think the world of art, as somebody who's absolutely not creative, having like the world of art to me is so important, and it's such a huge part of Belfast identity in general. Like we are a city that creates, that has always created. We come from a long line of people who express themselves through song, through word, through painting, and through fashion. And you can absolutely carry a message like that through your activism. And it's also a way to also reach a different audience. You know, if you work with artists, they can totally carry your message in a different way through a different medium that is perhaps more likely to impact a community that has been forgotten until then. I absolutely do not see anything that there's no purpose in working in silos. It just doesn't work. I thought it was proven. Why are we still doing this? It's pointless. If somebody's doing something cool, I'd love to know about it, and I just want to know if I can help. And if they don't need my skill set because it's very small, it's also perfectly fine. I'm happy to be a cheerleader and bring my pom-poms and be like, yes, you're doing amazing, sweetie. That's perfectly fine. But if they are also struggling with something for the cause and they're not sure that they have the right people with them, then let us know and we'll try to reach out and amplify. And does somebody know how to do X, Y, and Z? You will find them. It's Belfast. Of course you will find them.
It's that. And that's also the beauty of this place, you know, of Belfast, but also our country, that that you can connect. That's the beauty, again, of social media and sort of just being online, but you can connect across the country because we are so small, and you can make a visit up to Derry very quickly. You'd be up the North Coast, or you know, wherever it is. It's a great way. It's a great place. I'm so sorry, Joey is really crying at me, but it's a great place to kind of to make that happen. Oh, he's so
Joey, no.
You'd think he was neglected.
Oh, okay, so there's
so
can we put
I
up
put
a
him in the
call?
kitchen
Can somebody
because
help
he's
Joey?
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Network in action.
Yeah. So anyone that has a papoose, or we can hold our puppy like a baby.
We actually saw one in the window of the charity shop yesterday, but it was closed. We never got to go back and get it. But we'll maybe see if they still have it tomorrow, but I doubt it. But I was going to ask you as well, in terms of what would you love to see for Belfast Won't Always Be Like This? What would you love to see?
Wow, that's a big question. We started getting a little bit ambitious, I have to say, at some point. We have we have a brilliant creative team led by Tolu Ogunwari, my son Tolu, Brendan and I's son. Brendan and I have a child. He's 26. And Tolu Ogunwari, who is an up-and-coming film director and an absolutely mind-blowingly talented photographer, who's been living in Belfast since he was 10 or 11 or so. And we're looking at doing documentaries on, well, the things that should no longer be like this, and talking about the separation wall. But we also want to talk about what is the role of ethnic minorities in Northern Ireland? How can we integrate more? What are the issues? Because we always talk about two communities here, but that's not that. It does not reflect who we are.
Totally.
It has stopped reflecting who we are a long time ago. And also wanted to talk about rural communities, because that's one thing that Brenta and I were talking about. We can do Belfast day in, day out. So when we started reaching out to Derry, we actually asked our core friends in Derry to be our permanent outpost, because it's not our place to tell Derry what to say or what they need. So we said, okay, like who in Derry wants to spearhead that Derry side of the project? And we have a few people. We have that absolutely brilliant cinematographer, David McIntyre, who's going to release a short called Derry Won't Always Be Like This soon. So we're very excited about that. But we also want to reach out to rural communities, because as soon as you step out of Belfast and Derry, Northern Ireland is a completely different country. Like, and what are the issues that they face? What are the needs? And, you know, we talk a lot about how we have very little infrastructure. Well, that's also a reason why people leave. If you need to uproot yourself completely to go to uni, or which is going to cost you significantly more money than people already based here, or if you don't have access to employment or education, of mental health support, or any form of health access, which is the case in the Northwest, then it's going to affect you way differently than the rest of us here. So we'd like to talk to them as well, and platform them and ask them what the needs are. We're really going to go into video production, which we love. And my personal thing that has always been a part of me since I was this small, I already had that big hair, but I was very small, is music.
I love that it's most of the shot.
I am 88% hair. Sort of... So if you shave me at this here, I would just like be inside this window.
I know, because I took a seat behind you at that show the other night at Priyanka. For the show,
covered up all the drag queens.
And I swear, I was like, I'm gonna have to. Can we all shift that way a little bit?
But this is what Mary J. Blige would want me to do.
This
is what Mary J. Blige would want me to do. I have to do it. But so we want to talk about music a lot. We have great bands coming out of Belfast. We have great artists that are doing amazing stuff. We have Leo Miyagi. We have MB. We have Touts. We have great artists performing like that. We have Soak, this new artist that's coming up, was wonderful. Sister Ghost, tons of bands, and like sharing what it's like to be young and up and coming in Northern Ireland, and trying to tour and trying to, you know, I think Derry Girls has done wonders to put Northern Ireland on the map. In a very funny and loving way.
So
but I mean, to me, music is such a universal language. You know, this would be great, because then we'd not just be reduced to Van Morrison. So, you know, I'm just super happy about also giving an alternative to listening to Van Morrison. So, so we really want to start profiling bands as well, and ask them what it's like to start, you know, in an industry that is extremely notoriously, you know, competitive and difficult. And, you know, do you have a chip on your shoulder when you come from here because you haven't been given the same opportunities as people in Dublin, definitely not the same as people in London. So we want to talk to them and their music. And it's just, I don't know. At this point, I'm just happy to just be on our bikes and just run into somebody or go to an event and talk to people. We just talked to the guys from Pure Mental. They blew my mind. They're 19 and 20. And they're trying to deliver a mental health strategy for Northern Ireland. I don't know. The kids can inherit the earth. It's fine. That's cool. They got it. So we're just super inspired by what we see every day.
I have another question as well. Can I go for it? Or do you want to, is it your turn?
It was my turn, but I'll give it. Sorry, I've been so disruptive on this call. Joey's back out of the room.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, our child.
So my final question, because I don't want to keep you too much from your evening as well. If you could interview anybody, living or not living, who would you do an interview with, and why? Yeah. Or living here, I suppose.
Wow.
That's a really big question.
For the first time in my life, somebody made me speechless. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I think the list would be too long, especially if we include the dead.
Well, no pressure if we if we forget about someone. But say if you have like a top 5, if there's 5 people that just off the top of your head, you're like, God, I'd love to speak to them. Maybe you've got plans to speak to them. You know, who are they?
Like if you had your dream list, if you could just ring up a PR tomorrow and they'd say,
Yeah, yeah.
Jamie Dornan will
No,
talk to you.
you know what?
No problem.
Jamie, no,
big
I don't know
activist.
Jamie Dornan. Actually, I would
Gorgeous
love to
people
do
struggle
more
too.
Yeah.
Good answer.
We actually interviewed Iman McCann and Gority
totally.
Horgan in February, and we were just
Ah.
like soaking it all
Yes.
in. We were just like in the presence of actual history. And Gority was just like, I remember when we started Alliance for Choice, because that's how Iman and I met. Because I guess activism is really bringing people together. And it's like, okay, that's too cute. I don't. Momoland for sure. I think, I don't know. I want to talk a lot of things about Liam Neeson. I want Liam Neeson to call me up. I don't know. I think he's also, Liam Neeson, please call me wherever you are. Just
my granny.
Sorry. Do you think Liam Neeson's alright?
Yeah.
Do you think Liam? Are you saying that Liam Neeson is a ride?
You know what?
A big ride is very.
I mean, yeah.
I know. I also think so.
I'm not even going to try to front.
Yes.
I don't know why I hesitated.
Yes.
Absolutely
no
not. I mean, his performance in Dairy Girls
skills.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah. What were you saying about your
Who else? I think it would be very interesting to have. Brendan is going to kill me. At some point, I don't want to ask any question. I just want to be in the same room as Ian Paisley for like 5, which actually happened. Well, I walked away because it got very painful. No,
the older one, the younger one.
Jesus saves Women's Day. I heard him preach once, and he got very hate crimey. So I bounced because I felt extremely unwelcome. I just kind of, but I think there's so many people that are so inspiring here, and one of my favorite people right now that we've been talking to him a lot, like no spoiler alert, but that would be absolutely fantastic, is Ali Khan. He's so inspiring. He created the Belfast Multicultural Association. He's been going through so much in the last year with the arson and the BMCA, and all he does day in, day out.
I know.
He came in here, he raises kids in here, he operates a food bank, he operates a clothing bank, and there's absolutely everyone that needs assistance can go there. It's absolutely not limited to any specific creed, any specific religion. It's about needs that need to be met. And I think he's absolutely inspiring. Yes. And if there's any way we can carry his message, I really think he's one of the people that make Belfast absolutely, that could propulse it to what it could truly be in terms of being inclusive and diverse society. I don't know, there's just so many people.
Just goes to show, but it just goes to show kind of how nonsensical, like when you speak about the multicultural society, it goes to show how nonsensical it is that a group like that would be attacked whenever they do, like you're saying, they have so many truly open and free activities that really support the community, and you can't really think, like I can't think of anyone within or around that would, I think no one deserves that, but that would even annoy anyone, that it's
there's no thought behind it. There's no point trying to reason something like that.
It's just like those, whomever they are, I'm pretty sure they're not on this live, because I don't think this is our target demographic. Whoever they are, when you attack a place like that, you attack the whole of the town. You attack all of us. You attack yourself, because your community may need this clothing bank, they may need this food bank. So what is your point? So I think that's also something that I think is very important, is that we want in this message, we want it to be a positive one, we want it to be a hopeful one. And I'm not talking about rainbows and puppies. It is radical to be hopeful, it is radical to be positive, it is radical to demand change. It's not, it won't always be like this, and like you walk down, it won't always be like this, exclamation point. It's, as of today, I decided things are going to be different, and these other things are going to change, and we are going to rebuild what they destroyed. And it's not just the BMCA; it's everything. Whatever has been destroyed, that has destroyed a sense of self, a sense of worth, of sense of community or sense of identity. Whatever has been destroyed, we will rebuild because we're worth it and because we deserve to create spaces where the younger ones will feel safe enough to continue being here.
Yeah, beautifully put. Beautifully
And that
said.
was a threat.
And the lovely thing that happens, you know, it's good. I promise. I promise. The thing that we've experienced as well, and I'm sure that they, you know, whenever there's lots of negativity comes or whenever something really bad happens. Now, for us, something really bad was like getting a lot of comments and things on a post where we were just doing our job. We're well enabled for that. Like, it's no big deal. It's what we signed up for. But whenever, like, you're talking about something that's like so devastating, the one thing that can happen from it, although nobody wants it to happen, is that we find that the people that are the majority here, which are people who are welcoming and progressive and who hold no hate, you know, and actually probably the only frustration and anger they hold is to the people who are holding us all back with their backwater bigotry, basically. And but the thing that happens, unfortunately, the majority don't speak up because people want a quiet life, or that, you know, it tends to be the keyboard warriors.
We get some very interesting
and
comments
yeah.
on this project, and people seem to be we are definitely in this town and in the rest of the country hostage to a very loud minority. It's a very small minority, but they're very loud.
Yeah.
And I remember this. We get one day somebody commented in the early days on a photo that Brendan posted with the poster, and this person, it's not even mean or anything. They said, "You're right. It won't always be like this. It can get worse." And we always get back to this guy.
God.
We always, because I'm like, sometimes I think about this guy. I'm thinking, I hope he's okay wherever he is. I hope he's fine, because if that's but sometimes we get people. Yeah, honestly, if this is you, please, I don't know. Please see your GP. I don't. But it's one of those things where people are going. Sometimes we had an email recently to your address of this person that literally said in his email that he's been combing our Instagram to find a thing that was going to bother him, and he did. He was upset that we used the term dairy. So we said, it's actually the official name of the town, but also no one cares. Like, there was a post about the cost of living crisis, and that was his takeaway. People are starving. Why are you pointing this out? And he said that he had been scrolling through the entire feed, and that was his takeaway.
Because he wants to hate. Yeah. It's happy people don't hate. And as we've always said, that like the people who are like actively looking for that, they're just sad bastards. So they're not worth any time or attention, really. You know, whenever there's so many awesome people out there that are very much worth it, you know, and that's kind of the way that we've always tried to address it. That just, it's not to say that we're like blockers or deleters. We're really not. We actually, if somebody says some comment, if they're homophobic or they're racist or whatever, it gives you an opportunity to be able to put a comment on and put them in their box. Yeah. And half the time, we don't even need to do anything. We'll maybe make one comment as reply, and then there's like a barrage
that would be me. If I happen to be stuck at a bus stop, if I happen to be stuck at a bus stop, which has happened quite a lot recently, I will take the time. But it's also, sometimes I just say, you know, have the day you deserve. Because if literally the issue is, if you go after people who help, I'm saying, what have you done today for your community? If you say, you are not representing me, you are not representing my town, I don't want raging queers to be the loudest voice in Belfast. It's a shame. It's a shame because all voices are beautiful. But, and we're gorgeous, absolutely. But okay, I turn the tables back on them. I say, okay, you don't like what we're doing. That's perfectly fine. But what are you doing today? What have you done today to serve the community? And turns out, more often than not, it's nothing.
Yeah. I think you're like, we're trying our best. And if you know you're trying your best, you kind of can't do any more than that, you know. And it's not necessarily like, what are you doing, but it's are you giving it your best? Like, because this doesn't really seem like it. One thing, just as we kind of as we finish off, one thing that one of my real takeaways from this is the fact that you guys are very much in the space of, we're going to just let it guide us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have this very structured way of how it's meant to be, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time that's really attached to ego.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually much more about seeing what happens and seeing where it goes and what the journey is, because you then leave it open to so many other possibilities that you would never have
Absolutely
dreamt
not.
of on day one.
Mm-hmm.
We're
You
just
know.
being very
So
silly on our
organic.
bikes from day
Oh, I
one.
love it.
I think we are ambitious because we started realizing that some people, for again, for the few bad comments and very mean people sometimes coming to us with issues, we also have people that come into our DMs and say, I was having a crap day and I saw you in town carrying that poster, and I just saw it and turned my day around. If for this one DM that day was worth it, if that message that day reaches somebody, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And I think in the way that we created this, I really mean it when I say that it's not about me or Brendan. I mean, it's very much is, because we are very loud and very political people. But we always ask, where do you want us to go? We'd love to keep shooting locations. We haven't done that in a while. I want people to tell us, where do you want to go? Where do you live? Do you need us to come here? Do you want to give us a tour of your town? Do you want to give us a tour of your neighborhood? Do you want to talk to us about what's affecting you? Do you want to, do you need a platform? Because we will give it to you. It's mostly because we can talk a lot about what we know, and we do, but there's also a lot that we don't know. And we always coming from this place of who is the best person to represent X, Y, and Z, who is the best voice that represents X, Y, and Z. And it doesn't have to be the one person. It can be so many. And I think if we continue being inspired, if we continue, also sometimes even you did say, oh, you should talk to so-and-so, or have you talked to so-and-so, have you met so-and-so? That's how it works. And we're super happy to also have Belfast always be like this, come together with organizations if it helps at some point, the message helps. For instance, Robert Helken at the Vault carried a sign all through January that looked like a road. The what sign that says never give up?
Yeah.
Never
So we're
give
going
up.
to do
So
a combined photo shoot
gorgeous.
of never give up. We want to always be like this. I like that. It's very simple, but it's efficient.
Yeah.
So we're going to let ourselves be guided. I think eventually down the line, because we're also in the process of registering as a charity, we are going to be more structured. But those are conversations that Brendan and I have on the regular. Like, for instance, in January, we sat down and we said, okay, here's a list of all the people we're going to try to reach. Here's a few themes that we should focus. And of course, we do that on our free time. But this is not our day job. So sometimes life gets in the way. But we're super open to learning more and going to more places and traveling. And we love doing that. So, I mean, it's not as if it's going to be too hard for us. Again, are you from Newry? Are you from Portadown? Are you from Enniskillen? Are you from Donegal? If you're from Donegal, we would love to stay at your cottage for a weekend. Please absolutely slide in our DMs.
Yeah.
We love that. But just let us know. Let us know, because we're only two people. There may be things that we don't know about. So let us know, and that's how it's going to guide us. We want the city to guide us. This is not about us. This is about the city.
I love it. Well, anything that we can do, I think this goes without saying, and we've probably said it many times, but anything that we can do to support you is we're there for it.
Yeah.
And same for you guys. You've came, you've interviewed us, you've taken some gorgeous pictures, and we're going to release them soon.
Yes, and we wear the t-shirt a lot.
Yeah.
So we do.
Oh, good on
we go out
ya.
in public with it, and we go to bars and get very drunk, get very loud, so it draws attention to the message. Also, one thing that we love: give us your merch.
Yeah.
Give us your merch. I get a great, the pure mental pain. Give us your merch. We'll carry it with us all the time.
We'll bump you up the list of unique products, and you make them available for free to us.
Yeah. We'll soon have badges.
Yeah.
Yay!
Everyone can have a badge.
But just a reminder to anybody who is watching, make sure to give Belfast Won't Always Be Like This. So it's Belfast, WABLT. Make sure and go on and give them a follow, and you will see loads more amazing people being interviewed and chatted to. And it's lovely, like really informal conversations that just kind of, everybody's very relaxed.
Yeah, this is not Nolan.
Interesting.
This is not Nolan.
No.
No. And again,
I wasn't
Nick,
there.
have
Not
you
No,
known?
and again, if you're in school and you're doing a cool project with your year, would love to see that and talk about it. If you are an artist and you want to share your art, let us know. We'll repost it. Like, we don't have a lot of big following at all. This is probably something we should work on. But just come to us. Just come to us. We're super approachable, especially with the pint.
Love it. Love it. We'll have to get one of those soon as well. Very
Thank
soon.
you so much
Yes.
for having me,
Yes.
you guys.
Well,
Oh, that
pleasure.
was so
It's a pleasure.
lovely. That was so good. And
I'm gonna go and drink all the gin and collapse.
yeah, we're gonna have a wee gin and Club Orange. That's our drink.
I'm taking notes because
So
we're
we're gonna
going
go
to
and have one now.
have
Trash
Trash
for
for
life.
for our 1 year
Oh,
anniversary.
yes.
So I'm still in the works. I just, it's going to be put like, but we just thought that it would be great for the people that we profile who may have not met for a lot of reasons, mostly because all of you are so busy, to have an
Love it.
opportunity
Love
to
it.
all chat, and the fact that you all like embrace the booster so
Love it.
well. We just thought that it was very high likelihood that you all will love each other. So we just thought we would bring everybody into a room and have fun. And what's better than a drink and good food?
Love it. We
Love
are
it.
there. We are there.
We'll bring some deviled
So
eggs.
I will bring the potato salad
Maybe a few
because
weeks and
not
do
to
it.
offend, but you white people don't
Oh,
know how to
love
season
it.
your food.
Fair. Fair
Okay.
We'll bring some soda
potato
bread or
foil.
something.
Yeah. Soda bread. Maybe a few E15s.
We'll bring so
Actually,
much.
I like making 15s, so I will do that.
Well, look,
Good
we'll
excuse.
speak to you very, very soon.
You
Have
too.
a
Lovely evening, lovely weekend.
Yeah,
I will probably run into you at Banana Block. Because when will you be at Banana Block?
Oh, hopefully,
Love it.
yes, we would love to see you.
So we're going to be there thank you so much. We're going to be there this Saturday and Sunday for the launch of So Some Love, which is our attempt at the world's largest recycled rainbow flag in honour of Mark Ashton. So follow along for more about that. Get down in the day. We're there from 12 till 4, both days. You're amazing.
Love you.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you so
See
much,
you later.
everybody. Bye.